All right, guys, welcome to the Lane podcast.
Welcome.
My name's Dark Cloud. We'll pass it around, get everyone introduced since this is the first episode, the pilot, if you will. So, Seb, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. My name's Seb Skirty. I'm a writer. I'm an artist. I do predominantly hip hop, rap music. I like to genre bend a little bit. I got some hip hop and rock influence. I'll leave it at that for right now. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the projects I got out right now and coming up. But yeah, basically, I'm a starving artist, man, trying to find my way in this world. So,
Everybody, what's up? I'm just named Dave. I'm a rapper. I live in Akron. Everything been going pretty good for me, man. I just released an album a couple months ago, back in May. I got some new music coming soon for y'all, so I hope y'all stick around. Listen to that, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm Mike, and I'm starting a new little pop punk venture here. It's called Lost Between. Do a lot of again like pop punk stuff, a lot of kind of old school throwback to like Blink 182 stuff, but try to keep it more modern. Put out stuff that's not just that pop punk stuff, but try to get some heavier stuff in there too. But yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, my name's Dark Cloud. I'm not really sure how to describe my genre, but it's kind of pop punky sometimes. Sometimes it's EDM, sometimes it's rap. Sometimes it's kind of a fusion between the different genres, but overall I just love making music, love making content, and I put this team together just to get like-minded people to, get to work, get some stuff moving. So yeah, that's it for me.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, who wants to talk more about, what projects they got coming up or what they got out right now?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Let them know.
I've been putting together an album. I would say for the better part of this year. Some songs are from last year, but I think it's gonna have 12 tracks on it. It's a working title right now, but I think I'm gonna end up calling it Molded Mind Frame, and that's just based off of like life experience molding you, but then also it has like a somewhat of another meaning like, people just not thinking for themselves, like not, just kind of following status quo kind of stuff. So, but the album has lots of different sounds on it, ranging from like indie tracks and dubstep and rap songs and rock songs, but I'm excited to see what people think of it. I don't think a lot of people, at least in our local area, sound remotely like what I do, so I think that's potentially good.
Yeah, you definitely have a unique sound.
Yeah,
from
sure.
anything I've heard around here, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's hard, like even you said it. It's hard to put like a word or a genre to it. Like it's not one thing. It's like I told you multiple times when I'd come in, I'd be like, dude, you're singing a pop punk song, but it's like the trap beat over it.
Yeah.
And then I'll come in and you just drop that like kind of more EDM stuff on us, and we're like, where did this come from?
Yeah. It might be a while before anyone gets to hear it or hear the reference, but keep an eye out for a track called Avalanche, because it's different.
Yeah, that's the heat.
Yeah, it's different. It like even in my own catalog, it stands out, like it's different from everything else. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what people think. A lot of my stuff sits in folders, as you guys know, but it's coming.
Yeah. We excited, man.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see what Mike puts out. He's our newest artist to the group, and it's gonna be cool watching him develop it. You know what I mean? Like, cause we have somewhat of a catalog that we're like leaking out, where he is creating now. Like, he's got like deadlines basically.
And it's fun to work on that too, because it's obviously I was did band stuff before. Like I was in a band called Fall Behind. We did similar stuff to what I'm doing now, but not exactly, because again, it's a band where like you gotta all agree on the same thing, so there's sacrifices and each person's vision in it. But like being able to just I mean, you were the one who told me to do it. You were like,
Oh
listen,
yeah.
if you you don't have that time to like meet with 3 different people and like figure stuff out, like just do it, just write your own stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. And it was wild how quick that came together with the first
Oh
song that
yeah.
I'll be putting out. But it's just a lot of fun to work on because it's all brand new. Like there's no starting point. It's just sit down and with a guitar or whatever and just come up with something that day.
Yeah, watch with our influence, he's gonna be a rapper in no time. 2022, Mike's gonna have face tats.
He's gonna have them bars.
It's so crazy you say that because I've been super excited to be able to work with Mike.
Yeah.
Me being the rapper out the group, the one that's been in the street and all that, man, it's gonna be so different for me to work with him, and it's gonna be like, to me, it's gonna be like a Einer Banks type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I really think that should be super dope. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
Well,
yeah,
that's-
man.
Like every time we've talked about that with the different collaborations with each other, every time I'm like, dude, I have to save some like heavy shit for when Dave hops on a track,
Yeah.
like some
Yeah.
real like banger
Yeah, man.
material.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, he made me think of something when he said, being in a band, you kind of have to sacrifice for other people's visions or whatever. But I was gonna say that's kind of what's cool about us is we're not a band, we're just a collective of artists. So when we do come together and do something together, it's really just fun. It's not really like anybody sacrificing anything. It's just bring your best you to the table,
Mhm.
and we're gonna add that to the song and make something great with all of us on it. So it's never like anybody has to back off of what they want to do, really. So I just think that's cool. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, I think a big thing, like when putting it together, like I'm not like a manager, but like I try to manage, things that I can, but mainly it's just about figuring out like what each person's vision is, and then how do we make it happen? How do we elevate it?
Mhm.
How do we bring it to life or make it even better?
Right.
Like I have no interest in controlling, any
Yeah.
form of anything that goes out for any of us except for myself.
Right.
But yeah, I think I think that I see it as a strength, not a weakness, that we're all different.
Right.
And I think that it's going to be cool for anyone watching or anyone that starts to follow. Um, there'll be people that want to listen to Dave and only Dave, but then there'll be people that like all 4 of us or 3 of us or 2 of us or none
Right.
of us. I mean, that's just the reality. But
Right.
I think it's going to be cool having the crossover, and then too in a live show.
That's gonna be, oh man, it's gonna get turned.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be
Yeah.
sweet. Like, there's gonna be like, there's 1 of us on stage, there's 2 of us on stage, now there's 4 of us on stage,
Yeah.
now there,
And there's something for everyone too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then that's the thing too, is the music that we're gonna drop collectively.
Right.
That'll be cool as an experience too.
And then like the people, but I'm just so excited because like whenever it's time to do a show or something like that, the people that come, even if they don't necessarily, enjoy my music, you know what I'm saying? If I'm, the last person that's going on, if I'm headlining that night, too bad. You're sitting there for the whole thing.
100%, yeah.
You can leave whenever it's my turn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you just watched 3 of my homies go too. So
Well, yeah, and I think the reality of it too is that it's like, I think it's a strength. Like, I think
Right,
that people
yeah.
will see the 4 of us together and be like, I don't know how they're like, that's cool. Like, that
yeah,
they're all
like,
doing that.
How in the world did this group get together like
yeah,
this?
that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. And that's the overall goal. And even with this podcast, it's going to be cool. Just like, there's a chance that no one likes any of our music, but they like the podcast, or
Mhm.
vice versa. They don't
Yeah.
watch the podcast,
Yeah.
but they love the music or whatever.
And he just brought up something interesting. That's a story we could tell here on the podcast. Is how did this group get together? Because we are kind of an oddball,
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
ragtag group of
Yeah. I mean,
different type of people. So
I mean, that's true.
I think that start with y'all right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it does. I guess. Well, I guess basically it all began. God, how many years ago was that now though?
That was like 50,000 years ago.
Yeah, so like 50,000 years ago in the prehistoric times.
Yeah, like I was sitting by a dinosaur.
I sent up these smoke signals into the air, and they
I was smacking rocks.
they happened to reach
smacking
out.
rocks.
You know, he saw him, came running through the fields.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
we are.
Yeah, a couple
Anyways,
minutes.
it was at some point several years ago. Dark Cloud here, he has a friend named Kevin, and
Yep. Shout out, Kevin.
shout out Kevin. It's
How
my
you doing,
dude.
Shu?
No pics. No pics.
No pics. Fuck promo.
You will never find a picture of this man that I'm aware of.
No.
If you could
No
capture this man, he's more
pics.
elusive than Bigfoot.
Bro, I just thought about that.
Loch
I met
Ness.
him like once or twice.
Yeah. Yeah, he lives
Consider
with
I
yourself
haven't
lucky.
seen him since and
Yeah.
have not seen
Yeah.
a picture of him. You're
Yeah,
fucking
he's
right.
his new nickname is No Pics.
Yeah, he may just be a made up character.
A
He may not
literal-
even exist.
A literal
might-
ghost.
Yeah, he can't wait to hear that. He likes the idea that he's like an enigma.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So at
Like
some
another
point,
dimension.
this enigma known as Kevin reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you do music?"
Yeah.
And I was like, just to briefly touch on that, I've been writing and recording music since I was like about 15 years old. And, just locally and trying to make a name for myself and stuff. And I guess enough so that it reached him at some point or another. He had heard about me through some people, and he reached out and he was like, well, he's like, my dude Cody, he makes beats and stuff, and he's like living kind of close to your area. He's looking for people to work with. You should hit him up. And I've gotten other messages like that, or similar to that, throughout my time of doing music and stuff. And a lot of times I'll just be like, oh yeah, okay, like not even hitting them up. But something, I don't know what it was, that I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna hit this dude up though. And he jokes that I sent him this like super professional.
I should have pulled it up. If I would have known we were going to talk about this, I would have pulled it up and read it. This dude tried to big league me, like
He
Like
was
his-
talking to you like he was a real life,
like his manager.
one of them.
Yeah. Which I mean, hey, respect. I'm not.
Now, I don't know if that was me attempting to make myself look professional, or if Kevin had talked him up as some sort of genius.
Maybe you
Yeah,
thought I was
yeah.
a professional.
And
I don't think
yeah,
so.
so I was like, oh, I
He was
have to.
big dog.
I was like, I have to sound good when I send this.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's funny you say that too, because I mean, I'll let you tell your perspective of this. But when I had just moved in this space, and for people that don't know, everything that we do is in my garage, but I've built it. It's not just a garage anymore. It's a full studio. We're currently sitting in it right now in the like video room right now. But before all that was even built, I literally was in my house and just boxes. And I had just moved out here. He hit me in the email. I'm like, cool, pull up. He pulls up. And then at this moment, I'm like, okay, I don't really work with artists yet. So this is my time. So I bring him in. I'm like, what kind of beat you want? He's like, I'm not real sure. I'm like, okay, I'm just cook you something up. I made him something like, it felt like it was like 20 minutes. I don't know how long it was. It was fast though.
Yeah, it's always fast with this guy.
Yeah. So then ask my girl. No, just kidding. I wanted to impress him though. Was my point. And something worked that day. That
Yeah, I was gonna say. I did come out here, and I can remember pretty vividly. The first couple of times we hung out, we were just in his house and sitting on his couch, and this dude's like playing video games when I get here and stuff, and we just go in and we're chilling, and he pulls out like the laptop or whatever. He's like, I'll make you something. And I don't remember the beat particularly, but I
there's no
know,
way.
yeah, I know for sure. I was like, the speed in which he did it was one of the things that impressed me, because I was coming from a place where people were making me beats, but it was like, we're sitting here for like a few hours and making a beat. Like, I'm falling asleep. We're still making the beat, and it's like not even fleshed out yet. Like, so I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna be sitting here with this dude for a few hours, and he's gonna be doing this. And then like 20 minutes later, he's like, boom, boom, boom. He's like, here it is. It's done and laid out. And I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna work great.
yeah.
This is awesome. So,
Yeah.
and like he said about wanting to impress me, I also wanted to impress him, and I think that still holds true today. Not even just for me and him, but for all of us. I think is like a driving factor within our group, even though we're all so different. It's whenever Dave comes out with something that's hard, I'm like, oh, that drives me to want to one up and impress him, or same with you or
Oh,
you
yeah.
or whatever. Like,
For
as soon as
sure.
I hear something dope from any one of you guys, I'm like, okay, now I got to step my level up next time I come in here.
Yep.
And as long as we maintain that, I think, we're going to be on a path to success. So,
Mhm.
Yeah. So then to fast forward the story a little further. So time goes by. I tell him I'm going to turn my garage into a studio. I don't know the timeline of it, to be honest. It's kind of blurry now, but that happened.
Yeah.
And then a couple artists came through, recorded with you at different times, but for the main, it's just boom,
Right.
boom, boom. I wasn't an artist at that time. I was mainly just like the guy making his beats and recording him.
Mhm.
And then at some point, I don't know how long it would have been after that, but then Dave then started living by you.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I remember when that happened, you had hung out a couple times, and then you had talked about you did video,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like
Yeah.
you came to me and you were like, "Hey, can I bring
Yeah,
so and so?"
I'll kind of introduce that, and then
Yeah.
I'll let him take it from there.
Yeah.
I was standing in the hallway. Me and Dave were living in like the same project building for a long time. I was there for several years, and I had known ATG for a while, or Dark Cloud. This man goes by a million different names. I call him Geese. But
Yep.
anyways, we had already been working together for a while, and I was standing outside one day, with I think I was with my cousin. Was I with Randy?
Yeah,
and
it was
Megan?
with Randy and Megan.
Yeah, so I was with some of my family, and we're just standing out there. I think maybe I was playing a song,
you was playing them the video for Dark Clouds.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So
That's what it was.
So that was like the first video that me and him tried to shoot together.
Yeah, we shot it in a day.
Yeah, we shot it in here in the garage, and we just shot it in a day. We were like, let's try to shoot something, and so we did that. That was like our first video venture together. So I'm showing them this, and this dude, Dave, strolls out in the hallway and overhears it or starts talking. He's like, "Well, I do music." I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, well, let's hear something." And I think he might have played me something then, and then from there, I was impressed enough to where I came back to ATG, and I was like, "Hey, I got this guy. I think we should bring him out here." And then,
Yeah, like whenever I had walked out in the hallway that day, right, it was like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be like the creepy neighbor dude that just, you know what I'm saying, just want to walk over there and be trying to get in people's face and
But
stuff
you
like
did,
that.
though.
But I definitely did. Because I heard that music, you know what I'm saying? And when I'm like, who is this? He's like, me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh yeah. And in my mind, dog, please forgive me for saying this, y'all, because I love y'all.
I already know what he's
I
about
love
to
y'all,
say.
yo.
We all know what he's about to say.
But for me, when I find a white boy that tell me he could rap, bro, you best come with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, bro, I'm on your ass. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like we end up chopping it up a couple times, and he tell me like, "Yo, come to the studio with me, whatever, boom, boom." So we link up, come to the studio, and I remember my first time coming in here. It looks absolutely nothing like it did back then. Right now, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
it still looked pretty nice, but not.
yeah, it was definitely
the
still
room
nice.
we're sitting in right now was just full of like
yeah,
stuff.
it was just stuff.
Yeah, it was a
in there.
garage. It was a garage. That was what it was. So
and the I mean, it's not doing it justice because there's no camera in there right now, like showing it. But like there's like carpet and stuff in there now. That wasn't a thing.
right.
Like, there was concrete with like rugs,
Yeah.
but like not like carpeted area and stuff.
Yeah, but I just remember coming in here, and we recorded some type of song about money. I can't remember what it is, but it was a song about money. I remember that.
Yeah.
And it was like the first time all three of us had ever worked together. So obviously it wasn't that great. You know what I'm saying? It was like
Yeah, it was all right.
it wasn't trash.
Yeah.
We don't remember it.
Yeah, but
was a
we
feeling out
definitely
process,
don't remember
yeah.
it. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
we was all filling each other out. You know what I'm saying? And then time just kept going by, and that's whenever we started working on Serendipity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's whenever we got to getting in there. Like that's whenever the bond started to become like,
Yeah.
the three best friends anybody could have. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And after that, I was kind of taken back because ATG had to go. He had to leave for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, bro, I literally was panicking. I thought that everything was about to be over. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was about to be done with because I could remember, you know what I'm saying, telling Sep, like, bro, how we about to record? You know what I'm saying? How we about to do anything? And I remember talking to Geese, like, bro, what are we supposed to do? Like, how we supposed to be having these sessions from long distance and stuff like that? And we thought that it was about to be able to work like that for a second, but at the end of the day, it came down to it. We just had to wait. You know what I'm saying? We just had to let him do what he was doing.
Just
Yeah.
had to wait, and that leads into so you guys chapter
Yeah,
of
and
the story.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
So,
was gonna say. So I'll just give like a quick. Them saying I had to leave at a certain point. I wanted two things. I wanted more knowledge to help the team, but I also wanted something on the wall that says I know what I'm doing. That
Mhm.
way, trying to make money for myself, I could say, hey, I know what I'm doing. Bring clients in and stuff. Well, so I went to Full Sail University. It's in Orlando, if you don't know. So we're from Ohio, and that's not even close. So,
Right.
I moved away for like 2 years. Well, year and a half, 2 years, something
Yeah,
like that.
it was almost 2.
Yeah. So
almost 2
then,
years.
so then, did that. And I met Mike at Full Sail, and it's like we joke about this a lot, but Mike's not like he's from like 40 minutes from where we're sitting right now. So I had to travel like 16 or 18 hours to go live somewhere to meet someone that lives 40 minutes away.
Mhm.
So,
That just shows you how much that was like meant to
yeah,
be. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. So
that is serendipity. That's
yeah,
what it
Yeah,
is.
yes,
exactly.
yeah. That's kind of weird. Big picture wise, that's weird.
Yeah.
But I got into my first class, and then I see Mike, and I think he had like an Ohio State or like a Cavs thing on or
Oh
something.
yeah, the Cavs had. I had that for the whole time
Yeah,
we were there.
yeah, and I was like, oh, are you just a sports fan? Are you from there? He's like, no, I'm from there. I'm like, where from? And then we find out we live close together, and then at that point, I wasn't trying to poach Mike as an artist or engineer or anything. At that point, he's just like someone I was like cool with. And then we saw each other a couple more times, and we kind of clicked, and it was cool. And then more time went by, and then I was trying to get him mix work. Got him a couple clients down there. That was cool. And then when I knew he was coming back, then it was like, okay, well, when you're back and when I'm back, link up with me,
Mhm.
and we'll kind of do what I was saying, because I told him everything. I told him about these two and what I'm trying to do and all kinds of stuff. Um, and at the time, I was looking at him to, uh, you know, engineer for me, mix, like just kind of help take the workload off. Because even at that time, I wasn't an artist yet.
Mm.
It was actually in Florida, being away from these two, not having anyone to record. I just started recording my own songs, just kind of to stay up on my craft. And then I made a song called Loner that's actually out. You could go listen to it. But when I sent that off, Seb's telling me like, no, that's it now. Like, you're an artist now. Welcome to the
Mhm.
team. So at that point, that happened. So then I get Mike involved. Mike mixes a couple of my songs. That was cool. And then when we were all back here, then I wanted to bring Mike on, but I wasn't sure what he had going on career-wise or anything. So then when he had free time, I poached him and just say, "Hey, you wanna be part of the team?" And then that just actually kinda coincide with, you know, you and your band kinda having timing stuff going on, or
Mhm.
I don't know if it was creative differences, or, I wasn't in the band, but,
Right.
um, uh, but overall, I just saw it as an opportunity, and like you said, I talked you into kinda trying your own venture, and now you're here.
Mhm.
So
Oh, and
Yeah.
it's so funny to think of too, because when we were at Full Sail, like we met probably in like, like this third class, like the third month of being
For
there.
you, it would have been like the 3rd or 4th month, but for
Mhm.
me, I did the first 3 or 4
That's
months
right.
here. So, like, that was
Mhm.
like week 1 of me being in Florida, I met
Mhm.
Mike.
And I remember like it wasn't until a couple classes later that we started like talking more and hanging out,
Mhm.
whatever. But I remember we were in, so I don't even remember what the class was called, but it was all about like MIDI and
Yeah.
synthesizers and stuff. And we were in
Oh,
a
yeah.
lab one day, and the whole project for that day was like, hey, like take these, like basically make a whole track out of MIDI, and like we'll just grade on like how complex it is or how many things you added to it. And we're sitting next to each other, and I'm like, I don't know why I remember this, but for some reason I was like, I don't make like rap beats, so like I can't make like I can't make like a beat. And so I wrote a classical music piece on a keyboard, and he's like, "Hey, what are you working on? It looks pretty like crazy." I'm like, I don't know, like just, and I let him listen to it. He's like, "Okay," and then he shows me his, and I'm like, where is this coming from? And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, so this is cool. We start like talking after that, and we're like getting to know each other. And then we linked up a couple times to do like little tracks here and there and like work on stuff
Yeah.
together. But then when I got back here, like I remember talking like on our breaks outside, we'd be like sitting out there and he's like, listen, and he laid out exactly what this is
Mm.
and all about what like Mystery Lane's about. We didn't have the name, obviously,
No.
but like he laid out the whole point of it and
Yeah.
was like, listen, I'm not saying that you have to do this, but if you want to be a part of it, I'd love to bring you on. I'm like, yeah, man, of course. And then like the second we get back here, it already starts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Like-
I would say this about him. We just had like a 3-hour group meeting before we started filming this. This man's all about plans,
Yeah.
which is good because I was just about to say any plan I've ever heard him make, it's happened.
Mhm.
I've never
yeah.
heard this man make a plan that didn't happen. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm kind of I don't know, like an obsessive
So,
thinker.
yeah,
So like I
like-
just can't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even him just saying that just reminded me like, whenever I first heard about you, I had never met you yet or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea who you was, but Geese kept telling me like, hey, I got this guy. His name's Mike.
mhm.
You know, he knows how to master. And I'm like, well, tell him come on. Like,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He like, well, we gotta test him out first. Let's
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's when I think it might have been either Fiend or One of a Kind. One
I
of the
think
two.
I think it was Fiend. Yeah.
Yep, I think so too. And you had mastered that. Bro, he let me hear it. And whenever I heard it, I'm immediately, bro. I'm like, he's in, bro.
Yeah.
Like, let him in. Like,
Yeah.
tell him he gotta
Yeah,
come on.
I
Yeah.
can remember that too. There was just something about how it sounded. I was like, oh, I was like, this is nice.
Yeah.
And that was even something that like him and I had talked about when we were in Florida together too, was that like, I mean, he would show me his mixes on stuff. And like, I remember, I think Loner and Beamy, they were
Beamy.
both,
No one will ever hear that song. You hear me?
Go to my
Never.
personal Instagram. There's a little
No.
clip of
Why
it.
you wanna be me?
Is that true?
Hell yeah!
Oh, you tried to
And
under
I
the
cleared it. I
pussy.
cleared it with you.
No,
too.
no, that's cool. I'm not mad.
Now
I want to
you
go
guys
back
gotta
and
go seek out the old Instagram post.
Now I want to find it.
But I remember you. I think you had actually already mixed them like completely.
Oh yes, yeah.
And you showed it to me. I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like, and I was like, well, what does he need me for? He already mixed it. Like, it already sounds good. Like,
Yeah.
and so he was like, I just want to see what you do with it. So I took it, and you were like, I'm not giving you any notes. Just do what
Yeah.
you would do. And I'm like, all right. So I sent it back, and he's like, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but you're like, there's some sort of like space in it. And he's like, mine's very like hard hitting in the middle, and he's like, yours is like, it pans out and it's
Yeah,
got this
yeah.
weird. And
Yeah.
I'm like, he used to always say, like, you used to always text me and be like, listen, I'm gonna send you this track. Like, I like the like, I'll send you a reference mix. I still want this, but add your little space thing to
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's funny too because like I don't know if you know, maybe you do in hindsight, but I don't know if you knew in the moment. But me being like, no, you just do what you want, man. That's
Mhm.
me being like, oh, you're trying out right now. You
Yep.
just don't know it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
Like
test.
that's the like in gym when you got to climb the rope.
Yeah.
Like he was climbing the rope, he just didn't
And
know it.
And that's like full circle back to our stories. Like we just always kind of, you got to test that, person to see, like,
Oh yeah.
test them out a little bit. So,
Yeah.
everybody here, everybody sitting at this table has passed the
Yeah.
test.
Hey, look, you,
Yeah.
you want to know how he gave me my test? Bro, I was moving into the apartment complex, okay?
Oh, God.
It's this dude named Chris. We cool with him. Shout out Chris, man.
Yeah.
Chris, he a real nice dude. He real happy. He like to help every person he could help. He see me struggling trying to put this couch through my apartment door. I can't get it in, bro. I'm struggling. I'm flipping it around 100 times, like everything. So this dude comes out in the hallway and he's like, you can put that in the window, right?
That's the
and,
test.
I'm like, how? You know what I'm saying? He's like, the window comes off. You can take the window off. Bro, I'm baffled at
Yeah.
this moment. Like,
Yeah.
what? I'm like, I'm doing
Why would I
all
do
this for
that?
nothing
Yeah.
then. I'm like, man, show me what to do. So he goes and he grabs this dude. He knocks on his door, okay? He goes and he's like, hey. He's like, Joe, come outside. He's like, we got to help somebody right fast. Bro, this dude says, you always try to help some people. You don't even know this dude. So I'm like, hold up,
What a
yo.
nice guy.
I'm like, damn. I'm like,
Joe.
so I just got quiet. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't about to mess with this dude. I'm about to stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't get down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, like I said, I came out. He was in the hallway playing the music, and then boom, we was homies. You know what I mean? So.
See, now Dave learned to understand that later. We used to call ourselves the BFC, the bottom floor crew, because it was me, Dave, and Chris was all living on the bottom floor, and we would all hang out together and stuff. But he came to know that Chris was the type of dude that just will hang out with any random person.
Right.
We'll go out to the bar and be there for 2 minutes, and he'll look down at the end of the bar and see the craziest, goofiest looking person you could imagine and be like, "You're coming home with us. Come on." And then we end up kicking it with these people for like the whole night sometimes. And it's like, so when he knocks on my door, he's like, Joe, I got this guy out here. He's trying to move his couch. He's like, come help us. I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, but it ended up working out, man.
Yeah.
It was cool. So,
yeah.
It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like, I never really thought about it until like we're doing this right now, but it is funny thinking about like the trajectory of
But everything literally came back around in full circle.
Everything
the way
happens for a reason, man. And I was gonna say that too. Is I know I've had that conversation with you, and I'm pretty sure I had it with you too. But it's like I feel like at least for me in my music career, everything has just always kind of fallen into place when it needed to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too often that I'm like I really seek things out. Even like when Dave was telling his story, like when ATG left and went down to Florida for like a year and a half or 2 years, and we were like we don't know what we're gonna do. I think I even remember saying at that time, you know, it'll work out. You know what I'm saying? Like we just when it's time for it to happen, it's gonna happen. And I knew it would. I've just always had faith that, you know, the things we need will fall into place. And a lot of it is thanks to this man. But he's a blessing, and it just always has worked out for us. You know, it's crazy. It's fate. It's serendipity. Call it whatever you want. But like the fact that the four of us are sitting here together, and you know, we didn't grow up. None of us grew up together or nothing like that. We all met as adults and shit. So it's like, it's crazy. Like,
and see, it's wild too because, you know, I've tried this what we're doing here multiple times with multiple people.
Same.
It has never been this with anybody else except for this group right here. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that shows me that we in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and kind of like what's weird looking back on it now is, again, like I said, when him and I both got back up here, it was like immediate, like, hey, all right, you got to come meet these guys. And like I come in and you're both there, and I'm like, oh, dude, I forgot. I'm pretty sure the first time we actually were in here all together in person, I had on like this weird yellow flannel. And at one point, I was like,
this.
I don't know how these guys feel about me. And I'm like, I don't know if they think I'm stupid or if I'm funny, whatever. I'm sitting in the corner, like just bobbing my head to whatever we're listening to. And I look over at Dave and I go, man, I look like Bob the Builder right now.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
He came dressed like he was getting ready to go down to Eagle Video and rent a copy of Southern Fried Justice.
Oh shit!
Yo, I totally forgot about that until you just brought it up, and then that just made me remember. That was the first time I ever heard you laugh, bro. And I was turned up about that shit. Because I'm like, I'm like, that laugh sound like my laugh. Like, it ain't nobody that laugh like me on the planet.
Oh my God.
Like in that night too. We were like, after that, I was like, all right. They're cool with me, whatever.
Yeah.
And we started, I remember, like, I don't even know what track we were working on. It's every time we're here, we work on something and then we like forget about it. But there's still that song that we're like, wait, Dave, you're saying that the cops behind you. And
you speed up.
To go faster.
And what's funny is we're all outside the booth talking to him in the booth, and we're kind of going, yeah, that's funny. That's like, you don't mean that, right? And he goes, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I definitely did it. I'm hitting the gas and I'm speeding up. I'm running.
What I'm telling you guys.
Dude, I remember, like, after he said that, we all kind of looked at each other in the control room, and we're like, interesting. And then you get no talk back. You go, hey, Dave, did you mean to say that? Like, it's funny, but like,
Yeah, that's literally
he's
what I
like,
meant.
oh yeah, that's right.
That was so funny, man, because I literally remember that shit. Like, I came out the booth and Geese was like, Did you mean that you were like
Are you on a police
running
chase?
from the police? Like, or is that what you're saying? And I'm like, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, bro.
It's like unbelievable to some
Yes.
white folk.
Well, no. The
Like,
part
you
that
know,
was the part that was so funny is I thought he don't know. I thought he was just making like a lighthearted thing. But then if you listen to the verse, it's kind of saying that like no, I'm running from the police. Then I like the part that was funny to me is how I'm casually like, is that what you meant? And you're just like, like there's no like, oh, you see, yeah, I meant it because no, it was just like, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's exactly what I
No
mean.
explanation.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, like
hilarious.
fair enough.
And the whole way that worked, because I remember that night too was like, you guys were like, all right, like let's see what Mike could do on guitar, and we're like,
Oh, yeah.
okay. So we started working on like literally the whole song was literally just about smoking. That was it.
Isn't that
that's
all the time?
smoking all the time?
Yeah, I think that's all the time.
I don't know if it's that one though.
I think it is because I think there's a guitar solo at the end.
you put the solo on the end.
Yeah, that's it.
'Cause
Oh, I can't wait
See,
for that to
I
come
was gonna say,
out.
the people listening to this are y'all don't even know because that's not even going to be coming out still for a while.
minute. Yeah, a little bit,
yet.
yeah.
And that's something we recorded a long time ago.
before
Yeah.
we even were like sat down, we're like, this is what we're doing. Like,
Yeah.
and
Before
that
this was even a thing.
That
Yes.
was like the trial run was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
hey, like, do
Mainly,
we
yeah.
all like gel together? Is this gonna work? And then that song, I remember leaving here like, I don't know what that was, but it was fun. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do here, man. Like
That's
we,
what it's supposed to be.
yeah, for them,
That's
you
so
know,
crazy. That's the song that I said that.
yeah,
Hitting that gas, speeding
Yeah, it's
up
not
fast,
fast.
gotta
Yeah,
get
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's and you know that's what's cool about what we do here is that you know there is a layer to it that's the normal like stereotypical artist thing, like what am I trying to say, what am I trying to convey, what's the imagery, whatever. But for the most part, man, it's just a group of like-minded friends that we like making music, we like helping the others, you know,
Right.
reach ideas or goals, and we just have fun doing it. Like I
Yeah.
mean, even this, like we're sitting here having fun making content for you guys, or you know, for the vault, or however you want to look at it. And even before this, I mean, this is basically what we were doing, just no cameras on yet.
Right.
And I mean, there was, again, even still, like, even when we're having serious conversations about the business side of it, I mean, we're still just like, would you rather have Nesquik or Hershey syrup? You know what I mean?
It's always
Yeah.
family video
Always like,
or Higgle video. Yeah. Netflix is the answer.
Yeah. Hey, something I keep looking at, bro. I keep catching over there. That T-shirt you got on, man. That's
Oh yeah,
that's a nice
actually,
shirt you got
you know,
there.
this is a good
beautiful
time.
shirt.
The sponsor of this episode of this podcast is actually us. So go ahead and tell them about that shirt.
So this is the official first ever Mystery Lane T-shirt that I ordered off of our official website. ATG, why don't you go ahead and tell them what it is?
Yeah, the website is themysterylane.com. We have all kinds of merch. The mysterylane.com. And yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of I wouldn't say all kinds yet. There's definitely
It's-
merch
it's
options.
growing. It's growing, yeah.
We're adding to it. We just in our meeting that we were just talking about, we're trying to have more merch options for, you know, some for Dave, some for Mike, some for Dark Cloud, some for me. So there'll be individualized shirts or hoodies or hats or whatever
Yeah,
we
and
decide on. But
any graphic artists or any form of like visual artists, if you're seeing this and you know you want to work with us, just reach out to us on whatever platform
Please do.
you see fit.
yeah, for sure.
We're
for
always
sure.
looking to bring people on.
But yeah, proud to say that I ordered the first one, and it's really good quality. It fits nice. It feels good.
Is it
like
super soft? It looks super
It is-
soft.
pretty
it is.
soft. Like it's not like that rough, like coarse, like
It
shirt
looks
material.
It looks
so,
like
you know.
jersey material.
Yeah, he
it's
pulled up.
It's a good quality. So
Yeah, he pulled up. The first thing I said was, "Let me feel that.
feel your shirt.
let me pat you down."
Yeah, so
But
it's definitely cool. And then you know, as far as the Mystery Lane name, I feel like we should touch on that a little bit. We spent the better
Oh my
half of
God.
like how many months was it? Like
Bro,
November
months.
to
I
a
feel
month
like
ago.
It's
Yeah.
I was about to say it's literally been almost
least-
a whole year.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been at minimum 6 months.
Yeah, for
if
sure,
not a
for
little
sure.
longer.
of and I would say we fielded like hundreds, maybe close to like 1,000 or more names.
Oh,
I don't
man.
even know, like that we threw out there over time. And we got a chat group that we're in. And you know, it got to a
Boy.
point where we were just
We all got frustrated.
Yeah.
we were like throwing out like you would send a list of like 40 names
it's
just
like,
the top
no.
off the top of your head, and everybody's like, no.
Yep.
No. So it's like we couldn't come to it. So it was just like a few weeks ago or a month or two ago, like we got together and we sat down here and we're like, okay, this is it. We have to come up with a name right here, right now.
Yep.
What is it? And it was Dave that actually was like, well, I had an idea months ago
Yeah.
that I never
Literally.
pitched.
Well, I've been sitting on this idea.
Literally,
for a minute.
I was sitting on it because, like he said, bro, we were sending all these lists of names in this group, and everybody just kept saying no. So I'm like, if I shoot this out, everybody gonna
too
be
late,
like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But this the thing. If I would have at that time,
It probably
y'all would have
would've.
said no.
It probably would have.
Yeah, probably would have. And
probably
I'll say
would've.
this too: in the beginning stages of it, Mike was not yet involved in the name conversations,
Right, yeah.
until later. So it was just the three of us. So when we say everybody was saying no, it's not everybody was saying no. It was more like two of us might agree, and the other one didn't.
Right.
But we have such a
We all have
a
to
pyramid
like it.
relationship, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And now it's a square where it's like everybody has an equal say in what we do as far as
Right.
what
Yeah.
this is.
Mhm.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's if he didn't like it, then it's out. If he didn't like it, then it's out. You know,
Yeah.
so we just knew we had to come to something that we all agree upon. But then when this guy threw out, what about Mystery Lane? We're like, yeah, that actually
Yeah,
sounds
we
pretty
yeah.
good. Like, look that up real quick. Is that a thing? And it wasn't a thing. So we're like, okay, that's our thing now. Then we're taking that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
us.
And then
boy.
it was right then that he was like, well, let's try to draw up a logo or something. And I just I scribbled down something on paper that looked relatively close to this.
Pretty similar.
And,
Almost identical.
Yeah, I was
And-
almost identical.
Yeah, and we were like, yeah, that's it.
And then I just digitally created it, and then now
Yeah.
you see it on the shirt. And this is
Yeah.
actually this specifically, and there's hoodies too, but this is the keyhole shirt, and it's called that because our logo has a keyhole in the middle of the lane, but then also on the back of the shirt on the neck there. I don't know if camera can pick it up, maybe do a close up, but you know, we want to incorporate the keyhole in all of our logos and shirt designs. Maybe not all of them, but you know that is the aesthetic.
I remember that night too. We were like, I mean, we had like been in the group chat for a week going
Yeah.
throwing out names. And then in between throwing out names, we're talking about like business plans and whatever else we're doing.
Yeah.
And then it turns into, hey, these are too long to type. So we're just going to
Yeah.
start sending
Yeah, voice clips, like
messages.
minute-long voice
Yeah.
clips.
And then
Yeah.
we
Then there's
end
like
up-
100 of those.
and then about
Oh,
100 of them later, we're like, shit, what are we doing with the name?
Yeah.
Right.
We get
Yeah.
here, and Dave goes, listen, I don't know if...
He's gonna shoot this down probably.
he goes, I had this thing a couple months ago, and he throws it out, and we all like went,
Yeah.
Good job.
yeah, that's the one.
Look,
Like,
and see, it's funny too because I definitely was like the way I look at Geese whenever I be talking to him, yo. Like if I say some shit, throw out an idea or something, I watch for his reaction because his reaction is the money shot for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I look over at him, I'm like, and he's like, well, he's like, actually, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, that's one down right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'm like, that's all I need, bro. I'm like, we good.
I'm the boss fight.
And then we ended up questioning it that day because, like I said, we came in here with the sole intention of like, if we have to lock ourselves in here for 6 hours and think of a name, that's what we're gonna do.
and we did.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it was
we
like,
did.
Exactly what
but
we
it was
did.
like real early on, like within like the first hour that we were here, that he said this, and then
Yeah.
we were like, we had already said in the beginning, well, we're not gonna settle on the first thing we come up with. We're gonna try to come up with a few. But that was like the first thing he spit out, and then we were like, well,
yeah.
let's try to think of something else, and we just couldn't. That was it. Like that was
Right,
the one.
that
I
was
think
the
maybe we
one.
came up with
I
one.
think there was
other
like one
idea
or
something,
two,
and
but
it was
they-
like,
yeah,
no.
it's like no, that's it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was technically not the first idea we came up with overall, but the
Yeah,
first idea, pretty much the first idea we spit out that day.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, that's it. Like,
Right.
And once
Just
we
ran with
started
it.
thinking of like the logo or
Mhm.
like different things with like visual effects that we could do, we were like, no, it's got to be that one.
No,
like, we
I-
have to go with that.
I really
yeah.
think to like cliff note what happened that day is that we're locked in. You know, he says the name, we all like it. We try to debunk it. It doesn't work. So I'll say that I was 70% sold.
mhm.
Mhm.
And then he draws the quick little sketch of the logo, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
Like,
that was great.
all right, we
it.
did it. And then I think it might have been that night even,
Yeah.
but maybe it's the next day. But like I instantly hop into Photoshop.
Oh, it was definitely that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, I'm like,
Send them over.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
like
Look at all
getting home.
this.
Yeah.
By the time I got home and was like sitting down, he was like, "Here's the mock-up. Like, check it
Yeah.
out. This is
Yeah.
Again,
I
that's
was like,
that's
okay, cool.
very much my obsessive.
yeah,
Yeah, like
Mhm.
yeah, because I told them November or something. Like I was like, these are the things I want to do,
Mhm.
but before we do this, we need an umbrella. Like we
Right.
need to put it under something.
yeah."
Mhm.
And now welcome
And
to
now
the
we
lane.
got it,
Right,
man.
Yeah,
That's
like we're
right.
here, and I'm just excited for like what we have coming up, and I mean I'm also excited. Just this is kind of boring for the viewer or whatever, but like we just implemented like scheduling,
Mhm.
and like we were already doing things pretty well, like a pretty well oiled machine, but like now it's on paper kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's gonna
it's
push us
solid
further.
now, so.
Well, and even this is like the first podcast, is something that's like that we can check that off the list now.
Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
something that we are like now dedicated to. Of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got to put this out every week, so like we
Right.
have to be here.
Yeah, so please watch it.
Yeah, for real.
Man,
Yeah.
it's wild to like. I mean, I feel so like excited and like for one, again, like it even goes back to like the band thing. It was like, I would love to pour all my time and energy into something like that, but like if it's not gonna like work, and then once I
Yeah.
have those songs, what are we gonna do with them?
Right.
Like
Mhm.
it's just us, So
Right.
it's like being able to like get together with y'all and collaborate and do all this different shit. It's like
Mhm.
now we have something to work towards, and I mean I even go home and I'm like like I go drive an hour and a half home whatever and go to work the next day, but I'm still thinking about tonight being
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
dude, like I can't wait to see where this is going because there's so much cool stuff that we're like planning and getting ready for all.
And
y'all.
that's the dedication that we have. Like he said, he drives
Yeah,
the farthest,
super
an hour and a
commitment.
half. But
Yeah.
I mean, me and Dave drive from like about a half hour away or so. And
Mhm.
there was a time when he was not living here at this
No.
location. So
I was driving 30, 40
Yeah,
yeah,
minutes.
he's driving
Yeah.
30, 40 minutes, So it's like we were all putting in the time, putting in the hours each week. And then the hours we were spending here, sometimes we'd be here all night until the sun comes up practically the next morning. And then
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
before we're heading home. So
Yeah, and it's kind of funny too, because like, I say this in a funny way. Like I'm not trying to like pedestal myself, but it's funny because I put a lot of time in here,
yeah.
Mhm.
and you guys have no idea how much I actually like, as far as like my brain processing what we can
Mhm.
do here and what. I don't think it really stops. Like I just
Mhm.
that's what I
Right.
do every day. Like I,
Yep. And then we're all like, it's amazing to me because we all have separate lives away from this right here.
Of course,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? A lot of the time in the game, in the music business, you don't get to see the backside and the ugly side of everything
Mhm.
Right,
unless it's something bad. When it's something real bad,
right,
they
right.
put you on blast. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
you don't get to see the process. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You just get to see the finished product a lot of the time. And that's why I'm glad that we get to talk about and show people some of the process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, I'm a dad. I got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? My man, Sep, he's a dad. He's got 4. He got 2 kids.
I say you got 4
know?
kids? Does Allie
I
know?
hope not.
You work, I work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody work. We all got jobs, and we all still find a way to come here and do this, and spend the time here and still be dedicated to this
Oh, yeah.
while having to deal with everything else that's on our plate too. So.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, that's real.
it's so like to me it was super important to have that too because like I do work in like the field that we went to school for. Like I have
Yeah.
a day job doing what I love to do.
Yeah, I'm jealous of
But
it.
there's but like coming here and doing this stuff is like is as exciting or more exciting than that. Like
Yeah.
like I have this thing that I can do every day, but there's also this big project we're working on and
Yeah,
we're
it's a
like
passion. Yeah,
it's something
Mhm.
else to like fuel the other side of what I want to do. You know,
it's a lot more creative, like as an endeavor, you know.
And that reminds me of like a meme or something I just saw the other day that said like if you like only a fool would go to work for 8 hours a day for someone else and then come home and not work on their own dreams.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you have a job that you love, you got to come home and work on whatever your dream is, your real dream, your real goal or whatever, which for all of us is being an artist and music. So
100%. Yeah, and you know, for me, I look at it two ways. One, I was always a fan of music, but I didn't become a musician until very, very low points of my life. So like borderline, it literally like saved my life. And that's why I think that I have a lot of passion behind making it work and always growing what I can. But overall, I just think it's like what you said. It's like everyone's got to do what they want to do. And realistically, I had a good job. I was making good money, but at the end of the day, I wasn't happy. So like I threw it all away and then moved off to Florida, you know, and I don't know. I just think that people should do that more often. Not necessarily throw their life away or anything. I just mean that people are more easily fallen into the schedule of everyday life and it takes away from
being happy.
Yeah. You know, it's like even Drake has a lyric on one of his records where he's talking about like his uncle being so old now, so he's not going to do what he wants to do. And then he's like, I can't remember the exact lyric, I'm butchering it, but Drake's like, nah, fuck that. Like, do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, life's too short to not at least go try, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're out here doing.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Steve Harvey and stuff, you know what I'm saying? He's always a person that says, excuse me. He's always a person that says, you know, the only way that something will absolutely never happen is if you give up, if you quit, if you don't do it.
Yeah, it's the
you know what I'm saying? That is a guarantee right there. You ain't never going to get to where you want to be if you don't try.
Can't win if you don't play.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Miss all the shots you don't take. Yeah.
You know, and like Dave said earlier too, it's cool. I mean, especially for me coming into this, is that like he said, he's tried this before with other people and it didn't work. And it's like, that's why I'm excited about all this, is that, you know, when I go home, I'm like, man, like we're working on something real and everyone's like involved in it and dedicated to it. And they're serious about it just as much as anyone else in the group. And that's a huge thing.
And I hope people really see that. I was going to say too, I think that applies for all of us. We've all probably worked with people in the past or tried different endeavors in the past, different things maybe. But I know for sure, in my case, probably you guys too have seen so many people kind of come and go, or like the going got tough, or like the band didn't work out, or the group didn't work out, and they're just like, okay, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it, and you never hear no more from them. I mean, I could name probably 100 artists in my area alone that have come and gone in my time of making music. So
right.
The fact we've been all doing this for a long time. Mike is the youngest out of all of us, but you know, me and Dave, we're the oldest, so we've been going for a long time, and you know, the fact we're still doing this, I just hope people see that as a positive. You know, obviously, you could look at it as a negative too. We've been going for so long, and we haven't attained the level of success that we've maybe been looking for. But the dedication is there. We've never given up. We still keep coming back every day to make new music and make new stuff, new content for you guys. And it's just because it's a passion of ours, you know, and making it so-called, I'll put quotations around that, is kind of secondary to just enjoying it and having fun and having this camaraderie here, this kind of like brotherhood that we have here, and just enjoying the ride, man.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I don't stay involved with this for money or for fame. Now, don't get me wrong.
I'll take it.
I do want to get paid for doing what I love.
Yeah, because it's only gonna help.
And if y'all love me for doing it, I ain't gonna tell y'all not to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I do this because, number one, I love making music. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. But number two, I done found a group of people that love to do this just as much as I do. You know what I'm saying? And you got to surround yourself with what you trying to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is right here. So
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, overall, the thing that I enjoy is making music is like, the forefront of it. But
right.
I also just like I like people see something. I don't know. I don't have an example, but they see something and they're like, "Oh, I wish I could do that." And my mentality is like, "You can. What do you want?
Right.
What do you want to do? How do you? Well, let's look up how to do it." Like, and I'm just that way with everything, and I think that's good. Like, I actually think it's funny because it's like a puzzle piece thing. Like everyone has their role, and some of it is technical, some of it's creative, and some of it is personality. I mean, Mike and I are more on the technical side, like as far as the engineering and that kind of stuff, and I'm behind the camera and all that. But you guys are more feel and lyrics and things like that. But overall, especially, I don't know, Mike could probably agree to this, but for me, it's like if I make something, I feel like Mike's gonna like it, and vice versa. My goal is always to try to impress all three of you.
Yeah.
Like if one of you is like, oh well, this, I'm like, oh, okay, like I didn't do it.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I'm trying to look over like the first playthrough and see like, you know what I mean? Like what the hell? Like
bro, when he get to going in the booth and we outside making that stank face. Yeah, bro. That's I be trying to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I
Like,
was
when
saying earlier. We just all want to elevate each other every time.
Yep.
yeah.
And I completely agree with that too. It's like when we brought that song in and you were like, I mean, that night when we were in there recording vocals, we were on like a high.
On the
like,
fucking moon, dude.
I mean, we were like running. My head hurt. I mean, my head hurt earlier when we were laughing. But like, I was like, because I came in and I was like, listen, man, I don't really sing. Like, I'm not a singer. I would never claim to be one. So like, this is gonna be weird going in here and putting vocals on this. And he's like, no, man, like, I'm like, be as harsh with me as you want. Give me notes, whatever.
I told him he was in good hands.
And I come out of the booth and we're like doing all this crazy shit to this song. And I'm like, this is like turning into something real. We like FaceTimed you guys. We're like, listen, you got to hear this. You couldn't hear it through the camera, but then
we just wanted you to be part of the moment.
Right, and when we came in the next week, I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna feel about it because again, we all make such different music. I was I don't know if they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Or like, is it gonna be cool? And seeing y'all in there like bobbing your head along to it,
like,
this
I can't wait till people hear that. I can't wait.
It's wild because we all make like almost a different kind of music. You know what I'm saying? Me and Sep, we kind of similar. Y'all two kind of similar, but like
we're like we have our own genres.
Yeah.
Split
so
two
like,
and two, but then sub-genres split between the two. Yeah.
Right. So like when that's I don't understand how that happens, but then in some way or another, we all listen to the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think what happens is we're open-minded and we each have our fringe, like meaning that like I might listen to some...
We're just a big Venn diagram.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We meet up somewhere here in the middle.
That's what I'm saying, that's what I mean.
We have way outlier areas for each of us, but it's just
100%.
like there's somewhere in that middle that we just all cross over.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying is I think that the Venn diagram example is a perfect example, and it's also that is why it works.
Yeah,
because yes, we have this big core thing in the middle that's we're all agreeing on, but then all the other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the input that we need.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just excited for people to, you know, stick it out with us.
That's what I was going to say too. I think you could hear probably from stories we've all shared during this right now. You know, how excited we all are and how much, how much we enjoy doing this. This is like, I think therapy for like all of us, you know what I'm saying? I look forward to every Monday coming out here and being with you guys if I can. Like whenever it's a situation where one of us can't make it or someone's not going to be here, it's always kind of like a little bit of a bummer,
right,
but it's like whenever we can all get together and stuff, it's a very rare occasion that I ever leave out of this building feeling disappointed or down. I always
Yeah.
leave on a high, and the only times it is down is when it's like we had a great idea and we didn't execute it on a song well or something the way
Right.
the way we wanted to.
Right.
And then I'm thinking like, man, that didn't go as good as I wanted it to. But other than that, though, I mean, we have some of the best laughs in here, some of the best times, and it's like I always go home feeling like, all right, like that was probably the highlight of my week. So
Yeah,
Giuseppe goes Peppy.
yeah,
for real.
with the pocket whiskey.
Yeah,
but
we got tons of inside jokes in here.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, I think that's that's the takeaway. I think that what pushes us is that we enjoy doing it, but what pushes me personally is that what now that everything is in order and we're bringing it forward to people, that's what I'm most excited about.
Right. Yeah.
I am so excited for people to see what we have coming.
Exactly.
The podcast is cool and I'm glad we're starting it, but it's like the tip of the iceberg, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we
very
have a
much,
lot of stuff coming together, but I do like that, we're going to use the podcast to directly interact with you guys and to kind of share the behind the scenes stuff. Like, we're not always going to talk about ourselves, but when we do, we're going to, dive in on like what led us to creating stuff or how things led together and stuff. And I just think, I don't know, if one of my favorite artists was doing that, I'll be really excited to check it out.
Right.
I hope you guys feel the same, but overall we're going to keep creating and we want to build a family, around the Mystery Lane.
Yeah,
Lane.
exactly. We talked about that. We wanted Mystery Lane, whatever it was that we came up with, we wanted it to be like an inclusive thing where it's like you are part of us if you're a fan. Like you can wear this and represent it as if you're part of what we are. So
and that's why we call this Welcome to the Lane, because by watching this, you're welcome to the family kind of thing.
You're a neighbor now. You're on the lane.
So
before we wrap up, I'll touch real briefly on some of the projects I got out and stuff. Before we close, I have 2 new songs out with Dave. One of them's a little newer than the other, but we got Luxury Tax and a song called Flambe. Those are both available everywhere. Music is streamed and sold.
The heat.
Definitely the heat. I got another new single that I just came out with called Covet. That's also available everywhere. That's some of my newest stuff. You can find some of my music that I've released over the past year or so, in the past several months. Like I said, on all outlets, you just got to search my name, Sepp Skirty, SEPPSKYRTI. That's how you spell my name. I also have a little project that I just put out, produced by a producer that goes by the name of Dilly Got It Bumpin'. That's on YouTube right now. You can find that. And the project is called Summer of Cicada. And that's just like a collection of 6 songs that I did off of his beats that are just kind of, a little more personal for me. I talk a lot about like people dying in my family and things like that. I've been through some different personal tragedy kind of things. So that was more of just like me pouring my heart out on a few songs there, and a free release for you guys to go check out if you want to check that out. And like I said a few minutes ago, we just had the big team meeting before we started this podcast, and we got lots and lots of stuff for me and all these guys, coming in the next 3 months. So just be on the lookout for that. But definitely go look me up, check me out. I got some songs out with solo with Dave. I got some coming with him. Got to get this guy on a track here soon. Me and him gonna do some stuff. So be looking out.
Oh yeah,
you want to tell them? You want to talk about your album? Like, just tell them where to find it and how to find you.
I got an album out right now called Agony and Ecstasy, and it's out on all platforms right now. My YouTube is just named Dave. My Instagram is just named Dave. So just go listen to it, man. I'm gonna appreciate y'all for real for that, because I put a lot of work into that album, man. Me and Geese, we worked on that big time, man. He produced every song on there except for 2.
Yeah, I think 2. I didn't. But and go check out the video for Green Stripe.
Oh yeah, that's out. That's out.
As I said, that CD has a couple videos, right?
Oh yeah, because it's gonna High Velocity.
Yep, High Velocity on there too. Yeah.
Yep. And
man, that's crazy. And that's a live performance. So yeah.
Yeah,
it's good, man. It's going. I got some other stuff coming too. It's just gonna be some singles coming soon. Like I probably think I got a Q&A coming soon, something like that, a little interview or something. So yeah, check me out, man.
Yep, and you know, for Mike, he's like we've said a couple times, he's the newest artist that we have. So, you know, we don't have anything directly to plug for him, but there's stuff in the pipeline.
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's already.
Yeah, we've got to hear some of it.
Yeah,
so it's definitely
so,
coming, and it's worth it. It's
and
good.
and definitely stay tuned. Like future episodes, we'll dive into that.
I'm gonna talk about fresh meat, boy.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. I think that shit's mooing, dude. Like, but you know, and you can check me out on all platforms. My name's Dark Cloud, DarkLoud. I've got, I don't want to say a lot of songs out, but I've got a little list. Go check them
Yeah,
out.
nice little chunk for
Yeah,
real.
go
Got a
check 'em
catalog,
out.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just want to thank you guys for joining us today.
Yes, thank you all.
Thank you guys.
You know, check out the merch store, themysterylane.com, and we're gonna be bringing you more episodes. And hopefully, you stop by the lane again. Thanks, guys.
All right, peace.
Yeah.